Hello and welcome to Quality Professional Consulting Group YouTube channel. My name is Ben Tomic, and in this short video we're going to talk how to identify and document processes in quality management system. Okay, by the definition, process is a set of interrelated or interacting activities that use input to deliver an intended result or output. So graphically, we could say that we got an input that goes into the process, and what comes out from the process is the output. A process approach emphasized in ISO 9001:2015 standard means that organizations should manage their business as a system of different processes. Therefore, system is a set of interrelated or interacting processes. Understanding and managing interrelated processes as a system contributes to the organization's effectiveness and efficiency in achieving its intended results. This approach enables the organization to control the interrelationships and interdependencies among the processes of the system so that the overall performance of the organization can be enhanced. This is schematic representation of the elements of a single process according to ISO 9001:2015. We could see that there are sources of inputs like predecessor process, for example providers, internal or external. Then we have inputs like a matter, energy, information. Then we got some kind of activities on the starting point of our process and end point as on where output starts like a matter, energy or information, and we got receivers of the outputs from the process. Also, ISO 9001:2015 recommends possible controls and checkpoints to monitor and measure performance of the process. According to ISO 9001:2015, Clause 4.4, the organization must establish, implement, maintain, and continually improve a quality management system including the processes needed and their interactions. The organization must also determine the processes needed for the quality management system and their application throughout the organization, and A. Determine the inputs required and the outputs expected from these processes. B. Determine the sequence and interaction of these processes. C. Determine and apply the criteria and methods needed to ensure the effective operation and control of these processes. D. Determine the resources needed for these processes and ensure their availability. E. Assign the responsibilities and authorities for these processes. F. Address the risks and opportunities as determined in accordance with the requirements. G. Evaluate these processes and implement any changes needed to ensure that these processes achieve their intended result. And H. Improve the processes and the quality management system. Also, according to ISO 9001:2015, the organization must also maintain documented information to support the operation of its processes, and retain documented information to have confidence that the processes are being carried out as planned. So, how can we comply to ISO 9001:2015 requirements related to the processes in the organization? So, the sequence of process identification, interaction, measures, and ownership would be presented here. So first we need to identify the processes in the organization. The next step would be to determine their interaction. The next step would be to define the metrics and KPIs, key performance indicators, for each individual process. And the last step would be to assign the ownership of certain process to the individual within the organization. So quality management system processes identification. So we have to identify the processes in our organization. Let's say in this case we have 9 different processes that we have identified. So the next step would be to define the processes, their interactions. So these are the processes that we identified, and we have to find their interactions. Which process is an input to the different process, or also the output from the process? Is it input to something else? So this is the interaction among processes. So if we have a complicated situation like in this slide here, when we can barely see which process is input or output to the other process, we can also utilize quality management system process interaction matrix, where we could define the processes in our columns and rows, and define which process provide input to certain process, right? So it's easy to understand the mechanism of the interaction by using this matrix. Okay, once we identify our processes and find the interaction among them, we have to assign proper objective that needs to be achieved for each identified process. Also, we have to designate process owner who will be ultimately responsible for a particular process. Thank you for watching this video, and if you want to stay informed about this particular matter, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching this video.